All right. That wasn't as good as my man Miles Davis, but I tried. That was the shofar. All right. Brothers and sisters, thank you for joining me. My name is Shaikwab on Yisrael. Welcome to my channel where I try to share my walk, my life, as I try to draw near to the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, to the Creator, to the Great Spirit, Jehovah. And thank you for joining me. Before I begin, I want to acknowledge the angels of the daytime and angels of the evening found in this book right here, the Essene Gospel of Peace, Book 4. And today, being Wednesday, actually Thursday rising, that would be the angel of water, actually. Angel of water, Thursday rising, angel of water. And the angel of water, where we read on the sixth rising after Sabbath. On the sixth rising after Sabbath, say these words. So we're going to say these words 3 times together on 3. Okay, join me saying these words 3 times together on 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Angel of water, enter my blood and give the water of life to my body. Again, 1, 2, 3. Angel of water, enter my blood and give the water of life to my body. One more time. 1, 2, 3. Angel of water, enter my blood and give the water of life to my body. And then we read, and you will feel like the rushing current of the river, the power of the angel of water enter your blood, and like the rivulets of a stream, send power of the earthly mother through your blood to all parts of your body. And it shall be for healing, for the power of the angel of water is very great. And when you speak to her, she will send her power wherever you command. For when the angels of God dwell within the Son of Man, are all things possible. And then this evening is going to be the angel of wisdom. Angel of wisdom. And on the 6th evening after Sabbath, say these words. We're going to say these words 3 times together on 3. 3 times together on 3. Ready? Begin. 1, 2, 3. Angel of wisdom, descend on me and fill with wisdom all my thoughts. Again. 1, 2, 3. Angel of wisdom, descend on me and fill with wisdom all my thoughts. One more time. 1, 2, 3. Angel of wisdom, descend on me and fill with wisdom all my thoughts. And we read, know, sons of light, that your thoughts are as powerful as the bolt of lightning that stabs through the storm and splits asunder the mighty tree. For it was for this that you have waited 7 years to learn how to speak with the angels. For you know not the power of your thoughts. Use then wisdom in all you think and say and do. I tell you truly that which is done without wisdom is as a riderless horse, mouth foaming and eyes wild, running crazed into a yawning chasm. But when the angel of wisdom governs your deeds, then is the path to the unknown realms established, and order and harmony govern your lives. So those are the angels of the daytime and angels of the evening found in the Essene Gospel of Peace, Book 4. Now, before I was thinking on my video of what I wanted to say, something came to me. The reading that I'm going to be doing is it basically, whether it's prophetic, it's in the spirit, or if it's a picture of the lives of some brethren here on earth, I don't know. I just found it interesting because if you really, you can't play with the Creator, man. You know, is the bottom line of the thought that was given to me. This thing that we're involved in, if anyone is listening to me on this video, you faith this, you brethren, you believe, you're spiritual, what I'm going to read, it'll show you, it's going to show you that in this reality and the the reality to come, we're still going to have to face different types of tests for our spiritual elevation. Now, what I'm going to be reading from in the Oahspe Bible, I believe, has to do with a brother, an initiate, or brother or sister, an initiate who is seeking to become a god, and what is required. And that's why I named the title of the video. So you say that you were serious, because knowledge is good, but I think that a lot of us, we can have knowledge, but we don't have commitment to go along with it. And in that way, we're going to get exposed. Brethren are going to get exposed we if we don't have faith even in our own words that we speak. That's the seriousness of when you're talking about being a faithist and believing in the Creator. You got to know. I mean, we have really already seen one of His great works, which is to expose the false gods and their kingdoms. Now, it doesn't stop there. He's shown His power in exposing who the beast kingdom is and their power to capture souls, capture spirits. Now, before I go on, I want to share a food ministry that I have, where if there is a brother or sister who is in need of food charity, I can certainly be contacted. This is the email information. You can contact me, and we will get that situation dealt with, most certainly. I feel like I have a burden for people who don't have enough to eat, especially children. And if somebody lets me know of a situation and it needs to be ministered to, you can certainly contact me and just work with me so I can get the information and get the situation dealt with. Now, here is my room, where if there are any brethren who hear this video and you can subscribe to the Oahspe Bible, the Faithists, then I crave your sending me a invite and joining me and my brethren here in this room. I'm really looking for brethren who are lively, who realize the value in serving one another, trying to serve one another. I certainly am looking for you, brethren, to uh, come and have fellowship, and let's just be a little community of brethren who are just simply trying to be about our Father's business while we are awaiting our restoration or our resurrection, or whatever the Great Spirit has in store for us when the time comes. Now, I was I'll scroll a little bit to give you an idea of what the room is all about. Basically, like I said, I'm really looking for brethren who can be lively, who can participate and share. And I never realized. I mean, this. I guess in this side of reality, I'm not going to be able to find what I was hoping for. I guess, you know, it's just not meant to be for me in this reality to find a group of brethren, a community of brethren. Although I'm not going to stop looking. I'm currently looking for some brethren that I can fellowship with, that are lively brethren who like to share. They like to talk amongst one another. They like to minister the word to one another. And I found some information on one group of brethren, but I keep missing the fellowship because I'm doing these videos. So I'm gonna have to change the time that I do these videos so I can make the other fellowship group. I haven't been able to meet with them yet, but I'm excited about finding the time where I can start meeting with them, and then I can get built up that way. Because currently I get built. I basically, if through the Oahspe, and I have a sister who she keeps me built up in the metaphysical word, but basically that's about it for me so far as having brethren who um, I really get a charge out of because of the things that they share. I have a pretty small little circle, and I really want to expand it and find out, meet with brethren who are they really want to share and they realize the value of serving one another, that sort of thing. So anyway, this is my room. Um, there's a link in the description area. You can click on it, and you can be brought in, and mm, hopefully you'll uh, see the value in trying to build other brethren up, serve other brethren by the things that you share, the things that you do. You're welcome. So here are some metaphysical words that my sister she likes to share with me, and anyone who's interested. The metaphysical word is really, really good and important for you. And I think it's really a word for serious brethren, so that you could get it down, get the overstanding down in your spirit, so that you can learn more about yourself, know the type of world where you're living in, know what type of vibrations are all around you. Because it's a dangerous thing that I'm seeing is knowledge without sincerity. You have a lot of knowledge, man, but your works they show a lack of sincerity to the application of the word. I think that that is a real danger that I see. That personally, I want to stay away from it. I want to, if I say something, I want to believe it, and if I say it, I want it to be a part of me. The Oahspe, it makes that statement that I just read today where it says you're going to be tested to see if you really believe the words that you say. And what I'm going to read is going to show you. Uh, to me, I mean, when I read it, it kind of it struck me. It made me think a little of Jesus Christ that he might have been his time spent here. If Jesus Christ is real, if he was a real person, it makes me think that he was going through an initiation to become a God. Now, I could be wrong, but you have to go through an initiation. And the things he went through, it sounded like it was equal to an initiation that someone has to go through before you become a god or a goddess. When I do the reading, you're going to see what I mean. It's very, very, again, let me digress again, man. One thing that I learned today is that, brethren, we talk, it's easy to talk, man. It is easy. Matter of fact, you got to be on the lookout for talking too much because it's too easy to talk about this or to talk about that. And what I'm going to read is going to show that our words are going to be tested, not for chastisement. I can't see where it's for punishment or anything like that, but our words are going to be tested. The things that we say, we're going to be tested to see if we believe what we say, and our spiritual elevation, where we are spiritually, will depend on that. See, Creator God is no fool at all, man. You know, no fool at all. It's better not to say too much from what I understand as I read and learn. It's better to be, just like what it says in the Bible, slow to speak, quick to hear, quick to hear, slow to speak. There's a lot of wisdom in that. Because what I learned from what I'm going to read today is it's kind of like in the spirit, you have to keep ascending. You just have to keep ascending, man. It's like you must ascend. There's no such thing as running in place. You're either ascending or you're descending. That's the impression I got. Now, I could be wrong. There could be a place where you're decreed to go no higher, just stay where you are. I don't know. That could be the case. But the sense I got for brethren who are lively in this reality, you are going to ascend. You're going to go to the highest that there is. Certain brethren, I think that certain brethren uh, are going to ascend as high as you can go. And that means to become a god or a goddess. That's what all this is. And I think it depends on your sincerity. Your sincerity. If your words match your faith. So, you know, um, I think that, this whole thing with what the Great Spirit, what Jehovah is doing now, if you want to be free, man, you can be free. It's like we've been in prison to religion all these years, and now the information has gotten out that we've been in bondage, and it's basically the creator saying, hey, man, look, if you want to go free, you're free to go now. It's like, here you are in prison, and then the guard just walked. You've been there for 30, 40 years. You're expecting to be there all the rest of your life. And then one day, the guard walks up to you, and in the world, they call it shock probation, where you think that you're done, you're finished, and then they just let you out. And basically, that's what's happened. That's what's happening right now. You brethren who there's a I want to make up a name for brethren. You're not in church. You're not involved. You're not really affiliated with anybody, but you call yourself spiritual. I need to make up a name for brethren like you. You're kind of like you want to be non-committal. You don't want to identify as one thing or another. You just want to kind of hang out in that gray area. I'm here to tell you, man, there's nowhere for you to hang out at. There ain't no way for you to kind of hang out in the background in the fog and the shadows and wait until the time, the when you can see what decision, where you know what I mean? Where you can, it's like betting on the game after the game has been concluded. Then you make your bet. From what I can understand, the creator, he doesn't let you do that. He, he right now is basically telling you, brethren who are in religion, you're under the Bible, you're under the beast. Don't you know the creator is basically saying, hey man, if you want to go free, you can go free if you're willing to believe me. All you got to do is just do it. Just go free, man. And just operate under your highest light, your highest overstanding, and sincerity and truth. Because I'm setting you free. Now, if you want to gain some knowledge, and here's a word that I'm giving you a practical guide, a handbook that you can read it was given the by witness of angels. And when you read it, you should be able to conclude that that's the case. The Bible is a book of men. It's a book of documents handed down by men It's a greatly manipulated work of many documents where men get together and they make decisions on what should be put into the Bible. And these things, they really amaze me as I think about it now. But it served to keep you in captivity to the beast kingdom until now, where basically the creator is saying, hey, why don't you go free? Why don't you lay that burden down and just get real that what acknowledge that what I'm telling you is the truth. I'm not saying me, I'm saying what at least the Oahspe Bible, Third Testament, these are works that came out around the same time of each other. And they really they really call into question what we call the holy scriptures. And the Oahspe, it says that time was going to come when Creator was going to put it in the hearts of men to start questioning the scriptures. And the scriptures were going to get exposed. The tragedy is that most brethren, you don't want to come out of Egypt. You don't have the power, you ain't got the ability to, but you're going to because the whole world is going to subscribe to the Oahspe Bible if the Creator doesn't come out with something else. The whole world is going to subscribe to it because you're going to eventually see that your God, your religion, your idolatry, your deity worship, it ain't going to lead you nowhere. It can't save you. Matter of fact, did I post something in the room? Check it out. I think I posted something in the room. Now, I think I posted something that it comes to my mind. See, not this, although that's a pretty good post right there, talking about the 2 ways to get knowledge. And then I'm going to do my sister's metaphysical definitions. Now, I came across something. I was reading something. And they talked about the 2 ways to get knowledge. There are 2 ways. One is to understand the soul of things, and another one is to reason and get understanding that way. I can't find it. I don't think I posted it in my room. See, I don't think this is it. Let me check it out. Wait a minute. I think this is it. Or if not, it's still something. It's still something good that I can share with you. Now check this out. Check this out. It's like the creator he's going to explain to you his plan and the reason, one of the reasons why he does things the way he does it. And check it out. It says, God saith, behold the work of my hand, O man. As thou findest an old house no longer habitable, thou sendest workmen to pull it down. Now he's appealing. See, this is just like the Oahspe says there are 2 ways of getting knowledge. One is through, I think it's through empiricism, through experience, and the other one is through reason. Wait a minute, is that right? One is through basically the witness your soul has towards whatever it is experiencing. And the other one is to be able to reason, to use reasoning to get knowledge. The Creator said those are the only 2 ways of getting knowledge. Now here he's going to reason with you. Here the Creator, he's going to reason with you to show you why he does things the way he does it. So let's read it together. Let's check it out. He says, God said, behold, the work of my hand, O man. Look at the work of my hand, O man. As thou findest an old house no longer habitable, thou sendest workmen to pull it down. And then thou sendest laborers to clear away the rubbish. And afterward thou bringest builders, and they lay a new foundation, larger and broader than the old one. And thereon they build thee a new edifice, adapted with new improvements on the increase in requirements of thy family. Right? It makes sense. All of this is just making sense. And then he says, verse 3, even so hath God labored for hundreds of years to prepare unto the generations of this day. For I saw beforehand that man would circumscribe the earth, and that all the nations and peoples thereof would become known to one another. Okay? Where we are today. And then he says, and I beheld also that in the coming time, which is now at hand, the old edifices of doctrines and creeds and religions, as of the Brahmins, Buddhists, Jews, Catholics, and that's Confucians, Christians, and Mohammedans, would not fulfill the requirements of man, because these things are stagnant, basically. Their doctrines and their dogmas. And basically, Creator is saying man's mind, his spirit is going to outgrow the ability of the beast kingdom to answer his questions. They wouldn't be able to fulfill the desire, the natural desire in mortals to learn. See, it's just like one of the things that the Creator, he warned you about. If you're under a beast king, if you're under a deity, if you are under, let's say last week, when you spoke about worship, who did you speak about? Or last month, what word did you use? Who was the deity that you referred to? You see, or whoever you listened to, who did they say that God was, the deity was? Was it something born of a woman? That's how you know you're in idolatry. As simple as that. And the Creator is saying that he knew that man would get to a point where doctrine and dogma is not going to allow him to ascend higher than the God or deity or idolatry that they worship. You can't go any higher in your overstanding. You must remain stuck. You have to remain stuck. In other words, the Creator, the God, the fallen gods, lords, angels, they cannot give you the overstanding that the Creator can. They can only give you overstanding and knowledge as much as they have. The deity or the idolater. And that's why the Creator is telling us here, he knew there was basically going to be a time when man's spirit was going to outgrow what he worships. And if you continue under a deity or under a man or man made God, you're going to be stuck. You will not be able to ascend in this reality or the one to come. You have to stay where you are. You don't want to be free, man. You don't want to, you're stopping yourself, is what the Creator is saying. And he never meant for that, never meant for you to stagnate in your overstanding. He says in verse 6, and now behold, O man, the words of wisdom Jehovah previously. And now behold, O man, the wisdom of Jehovah previously. I didn't read it right. And now behold, O man, the wisdom of Jehovah previously. He had permitted corruptions and contradictions to creep into the sacred books of all the said great religions. Look at that, purposely. So he's allowed the corruption of the Bible and Quran and, the whatever, Book of the Dead, Bhagavad Gita, whatever you want to name. The Creator, he says he allowed corruptions and contradictions, and men argue all their life away trying to deal with corruptions and contradictions. They do battle with one another over philosophies and dogmas. Men will do that they'll all their life spend it going back and forth debating, not knowing that the creator is saying that he allowed these contradictions and these imperfections. He said that he did it on purpose. Look at that, with design, so as to make easy work of the gods of religions. So to make easy work. Verse 7. And when I saw that the coming together of nations and peoples would require a new religious edifice, I perceived also that the old ones must be cleared away. Now, I thought I posted where the creator, he just comes out and says there ain't no salvation in any of these. He said there ain't no, those were the words he actually used. He said there was no salvation in any of these. I thought I posted that. I didn't post it. Those were exact words that he used. He said there was no salvation in any of these. And that's why he's saying he gave this to man for a time, because men, they need something to believe in. People need something, even if it's a lie, people need it. They need to be able to believe in something. We were made subject to vanity like that. But now creator, and basically these things here highlighted here on the screen, it leads to worship of man. It leads to worship of God, worship of lords, worship to angels. And the creator, he said he allowed it on purpose, basically because men need they need something that explains things that they cannot explain. They need to be able to attribute it to something. And the creator said he allows that imperfection in learning in order to, when the time comes to tear them down, it'll be easy. The creator says it'll be easy work. Easy work. To make easy the work of thy God. And he saw the world being populated, and he knew that men were going to outgrow dogmas and religion and man-made gods. So he said, I perceived also that the old ones must be cleared away. That's why we're in the Cosmic era right now. The creator has been, ever since 1848, really specifically 1849. Remember I was talking about the Fox sisters? Those three sisters that the creator said he used to introduce spirituality to the world. Spiritualism, the Fox sisters, Rochester, New York, the Rochester wrappings. And the creator said he used them basically to introduce the world to the Third Testament and the Nag, or not the Nag Hammadi, the Nag Hammadi on a small scale, but the Oahspe Bible to really, and I think the Nag Hammadi, and other spiritual books, I think creator, he used them to set the world up, get the world ready to learn about things that we can't see, spiritual things, what happens to the dead, the afterlife, and all those type of things. I think that it took a process. He set us up, and now here we are. We've been under, spirituality has grown. Scripture says that creator, he poured out his spirit on all flesh. But basically you have a world of people who are ready to receive spiritual things, but the problem is that we get bound up in religion. We let religion explain things for us, tell us what to think, and not knowing that we spirituality got introduced, but then we went right into captivity. right into captivity. It seems like the powers that be said, "Oh, okay, so Creator, he doing something new now, so we got to figure out another way to get people to make sure that people stay in bondage to us." Okay, so what we're gonna do is go ahead and give them. Let's give them Catholicism. Okay, let's give them Mohammedanism. Okay, let's give them Hinduism. Let's give them philosophy. Let's give them Confucianism. You see, and people lined up and subscribe to one thing or another, even as it is till this day, so that when the Creator says, "Hey, man, look here, I'm opening the prison door. Go ahead, go free, man. Go free. You can go free now, man. You know, if you have a desire, if you want to know me who is setting you free, then go ahead and go for it. You don't need a man to tell you. I'm pouring out my spirit. I'm going to make you learn. I'm going to make you discern. I'm going to make you be your own judge. You're going to be your own judge now. You've been around the block. You said you read the Bible a billion times. You read the Quran a billion times, man. You know, where has it gotten you? You still confused. You don't know what, you don't know yourself. You don't know the Creator. You don't know anything. All you know is a bunch of confusion, man. Look, I'm throwing all that away. I'm clearing all that out now. It served its purpose. It showed people morality, how you have to learn a little bit about the concept of love, respecting your brethren, living together in the world, sharing the world together. You learned a little bit of those principles, but religion, it jumped in there and it ate you alive. But now I'm saying, here, man, here's the key: go free. You just go free, and hopefully you'll subscribe to the Oahspe. The Oahspe is out there now. You can read it. The message should be simple: learn to serve your brethren, learn to do what is right, get some knowledge, the knowledge that I'm going to feed you. And that's all that there is to life, man. I have a greater life waiting for you. I have a much greater call. Why do you settle for crumbs? Why do you settle for crumbs, man? Why do you settle for the world? In 1,000 years, ain't none of this gonna matter. And it ain't gonna be here. And man won't be here. Humans won't be here. After a certain amount of time, the earth has got to go through its cycles. It's got to go through its creation. It's got to go through its what? Is it like a gestation period, or a cooling off period, and then it's got a time of where it can be inhabited, and a time of uh, a time where it can be inhabited, a time of barrenness, and a time of dissolution, and then the whole thing starts up all over again. It's a cycle. So why don't we take the time now? Why don't we take advantage of the time now? Why not take advantage and elevate? Let us learn. Let us get the big picture, to serve one another. Learn about the Creator so that it'll go well with us. That's the big picture right there. We can't take anything with us. So why don't we go ahead and learn right now while it's still day? We can work. We can get ourselves educated, and we can simply be about the Father's business. That's all it is. Hate to make it sound so, simple and straightforward. It seems like people, we love chaos, man. We love trouble. We love to live vicariously through somebody else. We just love to have problems and afflictions and somebody we can point at that's doing it the wrong way, that's evil and, in trouble. They're in trouble, we're not. It's like we love that. We love to be able to say they and them. Look what they did. But you don't want to hear about a word to help you do the tighten up. You don't want that. And you will want it, but only when it's too late. Because we're the type of human being where we got to see to believe. You got to see to believe. We like it when it's too late. And the creator, he said, hey man, look, if you want to go free, you can go free right now. You can go free today. Just fear not, man. Fear not. Just fear not, man. Stop fearing. Stop being afraid. Go free. Break free from the mouth of the dragon. Go free. And if you need a prayer, if you need a prayer, if you don't know what to pray, simply ask Jehovah to show you what is true. Tell him to lead you and guide you. Tell him to give you understanding. And just watch and pray and trust. And then his word, it should make sense to you. It should make sense to you. And right now, he's tearing down religion. He's tearing down, he mainly likes to list the major ones that I've been showing you. So just go back and check it out. I need to get to the metaphysical readings so that I can get to the reading on time. Here's a metaphysical word. Definition, Kaban is encircled, bound about, a circle, a globe, a village, a hamlet, hilly, honored. So it's a geographical definition. Well, it's kind of geographical, isn't it? It's a town in the lowlands of Judah, historically. Was a town in the lowlands of Judah. It means encircled, bound about, a circle, a globe, a village, a hamlet, hilly, honored. Metaphysically means an aggregation of thoughts of life in the subconscious that is of a spiritual nature or tendency, or that is bound about and circled by higher, truer understanding of life than the purely sense comprehension. Thus, it is reclaimed from carnal expression. A circle, a globe, a village, a hamlet, illy honored. A circle is that which is neither beginning nor ending and refers to the spiritual, to oneness or unity. Cities of Judah, in their highest sense, represent spiritual centers of life and consciousness. The lowland of Judah suggests the subconscious realm. Okay, so Kaban. It means encircled, bound about, a circle, a globe, a village, a hamlet, hilly, and honored. And metaphysically, the understanding is that it's an aggregation of thoughts of life in the subconscious. The aggregation of thoughts, they're of a spiritual nature or tendency. A spiritual nature or tendency, and it's encircled with truer understanding of life than the purely sense comprehension, the carnal sense comprehension. It's like you have these thoughts that are, you know, these thoughts in your mind, they're always spiritual. And they're coupled with, it's like you have the carnal, uh, no, I can't say it the way I was going to say it. I can't say it like that. It's an aggregation of thoughts of life in the subconscious, spiritual nature or tendency, and they're bound about, they're encircled by higher, truer understanding of life than the purely sense comprehension. So you have these elevated thoughts, and they're higher than carnal thoughts, is basically what it's saying here, without trying to get too complicated. You can read and come up with your conclusion. I think that it's basically just saying that Kaban is talking about your higher thoughts, your higher elevated thoughts, higher than your purely sense comprehension, your, five senses, touch, see, smell, feel, You have higher spiritual thoughts and an overstanding of life than your purely carnal sense consciousness self. Kabod. That's my overstanding. Yours may be different. Let's look at another word. Hull. 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 Hull means a circle, circling, turnabout, whirling, ecstasy, joy, tending, resolving, hoping, placing faith, turning away, disillusion, writhing, travail, childbirth, sorrow, pain, trembling, fear, terror. And Hull was the son of Aram, who was the son of Shem, grandson of Noah. So this is a person, and he's described as circle, circling, turning about, whirling, ecstasy, joy, attending, resolving, hoping, placing faith, turning away, dissolution, writhing, travail, childbirth, sorrow, pain, trembling, fear, terror. Now, metaphysically, it means that in the intellect of man, which seeks to conform to both spiritual and outer sense ideas of wisdom and understanding, much can be drawn from the definitions of all. Okay. The intellect of man, which seeks to conform to both the spiritual and outer sense ideals of wisdom and understanding. Okay. The intellect of man, which seeks to conform both the spiritual and outer sense ideas of wisdom and understanding. Okay, that could be in a little bit in everybody then. The intellect which seeks to conform, it means it seeks to harmonize both the spiritual and outer sense ideas of wisdom and understanding. So nothing wrong with that. Trying to harmonize things that you think spiritually and the world that you live in. I can see that. I can see that. That it's a vibration that, because you're constantly, I mean, the more that you can harmonize things, then the less vexation about overthinking, about scriptural, religious things. The more you can harmonize what you believe in the spirit, what you see in the world. Like, we should know, an example of Hall would be like, we're in a reality that the spiritual world calls, the spiritual word calls darkness. Spiritual darkness. Darkness is on the face of the deep. Darkness covered the earth. If we know that, then we know that the light is in opposition to darkness. To use a simple definition, we can make certain conclusions. When we get understanding, then we try to make sense, try to apply that to your reality so that you save yourself a lot of vexation. If you want, you can read the rest of it. It says the intellect has linked itself so firmly with the outer or seemingly material realm that it no longer acknowledges spirit as the one source of understanding, and it is divided into thoughts and reasonings. The intellect, meaning we, especially with captivity to the beast kingdom, which told us what to think and to receive, to accept things that the physical does that really is not spiritual at all, but we force ourselves to try to harmonize things where they can't really be harmonized until we get the higher understanding. The intellect will fight to battle, will fight to hang on to the darkness. That's the amazing thing to me. The mind will fight to stay in captivity. Just like if the God goes and opens the prison door, he says, "Oh, come on, man, come on out of there. You know, go free. Take your mind and go free." You say, "No, I want to stay here. It's comfortable here. I'm used to it here. It don't make no sense." But that's the way people spiritually are. Stuck, been thinking, believing this thing all the whole time. I don't care if there is something wrong with it. I built up all this time believing a lie. I don't want to throw it away. Do you see how the creator has got to do a work on you, Faithus? If he don't do the work, man, you know what I mean? If he don't do the work on you and turn that light bulb on in you, do you see how you know, we don't know something. I'm telling you, man, you know, the Oahspe, it talks about separating the Faithus and the Uzians. The darkness. Now, I posted something in my room the other day. I think it was yesterday. I do remember posting this. Is this the one I wanted? No, this I don't think it is. See, it looks like he got knocked down a couple of let me see. Yeah, here it is right here. And the Lord tired in his labor. Now here is speaking about a righteous Lord. A righteous Lord. It says, and the Lord tired, and the Lord became tired in his labor. It's not talking about Creator God. Talking about one of his lower authorities of Lord to the earth. And Lord became tired in his labor, and he called his angels to him, and he said to them, behold, man on the earth has gone so far away from my ways, he will not heed my commandments. He cannot hear my voice. And he says, your labor is in vain also, for which reason we will persist no longer on the earth till man has exhausted the evil that is in him. And so it's like this Lord, he telling his angels here, just withdraw, man, come away. Let them fight, let them war with one another, let them, what we have now in our reality. People just, it's just lawlessness. You see a lot of lawlessness in our reality. What was it? Mass shooting in Philly today, was it? I mean, people showing that their ashars, their guardian angels, are being withdrawn. These things happen when the Creator, when he tells his angels, hey, fall back, just fall back, let them, they want to be evil, let them be evil still. Go ahead, let them have at it. And then the Oahspe, the Creator, he talks about what happens when he tells his angels to withdraw, and then what happens. And it's all kinds of agricultural problems, all kinds of geopolitical problems, exactly what you're seeing today. Why? Because he withdraws his angels. He withdraws. So people riot and people corruption. It starts growing. And, you know, again, did you brother hear what happened the other day? Did you hear about that directed energy weapon? I personally think it was, hold on, ash is falling again. That fire in Texas, you know, it's getting to the point where it's like the government is saying, hey, they know we corrupt. Why try to hide it anymore? And that big wildfire in Texas, did y'all hear about that? You know what? Well, what I think, I think it was a directed energy weapon. When you see videos of that laser going out and then a fire starting, what are you supposed to think? They got videos of a green light shooting out right where the big wildfire took place. What is it telling you? It's telling you that the government, that we have a, well, I'm gonna get in trouble, man. You know, you brother get my drift, man. You know, when you get when you get the leadership and their spiritual score is, you could tell it's getting lower and lower and lower. That's one way you could tell that there's an event coming. That's how the prophets used to do it. They would consider the earth's spiritual score, They would look around, they would see the confluence of events, and they make a determination. That simple. And conclude the spiritual elevation of a people, of a earth, of a globe, and it would tell them how close they were to some sort of judgment. See? And we're in a situation now, man, where, you know, you, I mean, it seems like every 15 minutes there's some type of emergency video. Sometimes I'll share it in my room of something jumping off. Something jumping off. And so, you know, the score, the when a world of people, when they show no regard for each other, when they are corrupt, when there is no concern for the creator, when there is no knowledge, when the beast kingdom just gets bigger and bigger and swallows up more and more people, then all that's left after that is that vibration you feel about something going down. And people such as myself, we know about April 8th. There are people who are watchmen and they look for events in the spiritual and they know about April 8th. You brother know about, just for the sake of anyone's just coming across my video for the first time, 2017-2024 eclipse. This is what I'm talking about. In a few days, X across America. And people are looking at this. See, this right here, there ain't nothing, a man can't control the planets like this. That's what the problem is right there. Man cannot, he can't do anything about this. See, that's what the problem is right there. Now that's an X across the country. Now there was another one too, another eclipse that went kind of down this way, but it didn't seem to have any meaning. Whereas here you see a X pointed right at the heart of America. And then you look and see the confluence of events, how the nations of the world are building their military. Oh, shoot. I'm late for the reading. I did it again, man. I'm late for the reading. Okay. All right, good. I did that word, the metaphysical word. Go to the room real quick, see if anyone's in there. Brother Elijah. Good to see you, brother. Good to see you. Look like just me and you for the video today. That's all right. I hope that I can really, really share some things with you. Or really anybody if they're in the room and they just not on the chat or anything, or anybody looking at this video. Good to see you, brother Elijah. Thanks for joining me, brother. I think that what I'm gonna read is going to bless you and help us to see that what goes on in the spiritual and how certain spirits receive the elevation to God. It doesn't show about elevation to lords or angels or anything like that. But I think you're going to like what I'm going to read. So thanks for joining me, brother. Bless my soul. Let's go ahead and do the reading of the word. make the words bigger. Hopefully you can follow along with me. Now, to summarize, it says right here, the initiation ceremony of the Magi. Now, the Magi were referred to as the wise men, and it's a ceremony in order to attain a certain degree. Here, it's the sun degree. Now, I entitled the name of the video, So You Think You're Serious, eh? As in, really? Now, look at the thing someone hoping to attain this degree, what they have to go through, is what I'm trying to call your attention to. Because these things, they're pretty heavy. And they call for a dedication. So instead of just having head knowledge, when I read this, it's going to be obvious we need some sort of conviction. We need a level of conviction, man, that the things we believe are true. We need some level of conviction, meaning we believe the words we say. Now, here the interaction is between a master and an initiate, and it's going to remind you of probably what the Freemasons do. It's what it sounds like, something, a pattern of what they do in their secret ceremonies, that sort of thing. I have to think that they got it from fallen angels. That's what I believe. They get this type of information from fallen angels. Because if I'm not mistaken, this type of knowledge went out in the Ark of Speda. Ark of Speda, time period of Speda, Archangel Speda. And this type of knowledge was given out, and fallen gods were there. Fallen gods and angels they took part in it. So they got the knowledge, and they were able to give it to mortals, from what I understand. They were present at the time that this knowledge went out, and they patterned the mortal ceremonies after what they have seen in the heavenly. Here we're getting a picture of the sun degree ceremony from the spiritual perspective. And the thing that should grab your attention is the dedication that's required to reach this degree. Now, here they give you would you call it a hieroglyph? I don't know. An image. Let me read this first. It says, Master, who are you in your business? The master says, who are you in your business? The master is speaking to the initiate. The initiate says, a weaver of fabric or whatever labor he follows. I'm a truck driver. And I'm a lover of wisdom. I've come to learn the wisdom of the gods and lords of heaven. Okay, so he wants to learn the higher wisdom of the gods and lords of heaven. Okay, now they give you an image to look at here. And if you know anything about the Oahspe, it tells you about a crescent. Now that solid line there, you see that? I don't know if you can see that. My cursor is going around it. You see that solid line, that solid black line there? Solid black line, right? A crescent is a half circle, right? Now, within that crescent is showing you the initiation process. And when the initiate, when he makes it through, then he's subject to all of this knowledge up here. He comes into all of this knowledge up here, up top, outside of the crescent. He's given all this knowledge right here, from what I understand. I hope you can see my cursor. Now, I don't know what these symbols mean. I know it's got to have something to do with wisdom to work, wisdom to think, philosophy, medicine, science, healing. you know, anything you could think of. All these symbols up here. I mean, you see a ruler right up here. Here's a plane. So the ability to fly. You know, it's got crops here. Here's a man on a beast. He tames an animal. Here I don't know what these symbols are. All of them. I don't know what they mean, but it's showing you all of the knowledge, the tools that are given to the initiate when he passes the sun degree. When he passes that sun degree ceremony, then he comes into all of this. See, outside of again, if you look outside of the crescent, if you can see it, I'm trying to do it with my cursor. You can't see my cursor. Here's my cursor over here. Lower right hand corner, see that? There's my cursor. Now try to follow my cursor. Okay, here's a cursor. Hopefully you can see it. See that? Now follow my cursor. Here's the crescent. Here's the crescent. The black line. Black line, that's the crescent. See that? Now my cursor's over in the lower left. See? I followed the crescent all the way around that black line. Within that crescent is the master and the initiate. You see? He's got it. Now here, D, up here, D, that's like him coming into different initiations. If you read down here, it'll tell you. Okay? If you read down here, it'll tell you. Like up here, D, if you can see that, that's like a gate. He goes through that. He goes through this initiation process. And then here's another gate, B. He goes through that. He comes into these different initiation processes. You see? Within that crescent is the master and the initiate. And the master is going to put him through all this. See that? He's laying on the altar. Over here, he's buried in a coffin and actually buried for a little while, and then they come and unearth him. You see, these are things that initiate, he has to go through in order to acquire all this knowledge. See, on the outside, where my cursor is, on the outside, all these symbols and stuff, he's going to have mastery over all this stuff. But before he does that, he's got to go within the crescent, and he's got to accomplish these initiation rites. He's got to be able to endure pain. See this right here? Here's a man getting stabbed through his body with something, and it's not what you think it is. I'm gonna read it. I ain't gonna give it away. I'm gonna read. You have to let me do the reading. I'm just trying to show you the picture. I'm just trying to explain this picture a little bit. So now I'm going to continue with the reading. Now, here you can read this. That'll help you. That'll help you to understand this picture right here a little bit. You can read that. Now I'm going to go on with the reading, okay? The title of the video is So You Think You're Serious, okay? Or A, so will you be able to go through this sun degree ceremony in order to reach this level of understanding of knowledge? Can you do what I'm about to read here? Can you do it? See, our words are going to be tested at some point, man. Either in this reality or the one to come. If we're going to ascend, we're going to have to be able through. We're going to have to be able to ascend I don't know. I'm trying to find the words to describe ascend through unpleasantness. We're going to have to learn how to overcome the unpleasant certain things of our life that we might not want to deal with. It's a mystery. I know that if it can be done, that Faithist will be able to do it. That's what I believe. So let's go with the reading. Now, verse 3, it says, the master is speaking. It says, for your labor, you are honored by the gods and lords of heaven. Now, so evidently we have somebody who was a lively stone brother. From what I can understand, he's crossed over. Now he wants to ascend to a son degree. A son degree. He's going through a son degree ceremony, right? The initiate. The master says, for your labor, you are honored by the God and Lords of heaven. So evidently on earth, the man had a high enough spiritual grade that he's now able to go through a son degree where he wants to master all this. Up top of the circle, the black line, the circular crescent, he wants to master all of this. See that? All of that, man. Whatever those symbols mean, he wants to master all of that. The person in the middle here, see him making an oath. He has to make an oath. He's joining hands with somebody else there. And then the man is going to put him through all this, right? And then if he makes it past, he's going to obtain some degree. He's going to join the brotherhood of gods. So that's where we are. I'm just trying to make sure we understand where we're at. So the master says, for your labor, you are honored by the gods and lords of heaven. But before you can learn about heaven, you shall be proved in the corporal parts, the physical parts. The master says, what are the elements? And the initiate says, earth, air, and the ether above the air. The master says, what is man and his destiny? The initiate says, born of the earth, earthly, freed from the earth. His inner part, the soul, ascends and dwells in the soul of things. In the soul of things. Remember we said earlier about there are two ways of knowledge. One is learning the soul of things. The other is through reasoning. Then the master says, what shall a dead, he says, what? Shall a dead man live? And the initiate says, yes, and rejoice that he so lives. I have witnessed the souls of men return to earth reclothed in corporal substance and talk with them face to face in the presence of witnesses. And then the master says, then you do not fear to die? And the initiate says, I'm in the keeping of Hong Shi, savior of men. Now Hong Shi was a god of, I think it was China. Hong Shi. He was equivalent to like Abraham or Moses, I think, or China. So the initiate says, I'm in the keeping of, he's expressing faith in the righteous God. I'm in the keeping of Hong Shi, savior of man. And the master says, who is Hong Shi? The initiate says, the only begotten son of the unseen. He was the incarnate and spiritual son of the all, light of heaven, born of the virgin me, who descended from the far off star Tritium. So some similarities there with Jesus Christ and the virgin birth. Same thing took place with another son of God. Not the creator, but the creator. God comes from the creator. So here was another son. His name was another son. And the initiate says he was born of a virgin. So verse 13, it says, the master says, for what purpose did he come? And where is he gone? The initiate says, he was made great by Eoli, which is Eoi, the creator. The master says, for what purpose did he come? And where is he gone? The initiate talking about Hong Shi. Up here, Hong Shi. The master says, for what purpose did he come? And where has he gone? The initiate says, he was made by great Eoli. So the master is testing the initiate, is what we read here. Okay? So the initiate says, he was made by great Eolin, creator of all things, to take charge of this corporal world, which is his to keep it forever. He still abides in spirit on this corporal world. The master says, where then did he live? The initiate says, in the ancient days he lived in the Far East. The master says, what was his labor? The initiate, to do good. There was no evil in him. And he was the all first who taught the power of the spirit over the physical part, the corporal part. All who have faith in him can also work miracles, nor such persons ever die. The master says, what became of him? The initiate says, first he was bound on the wheel of Elon, but the spirits of heaven unbound him. Then his hands were thrust through with swords. So you sound like a cross, don't it? The cross that Jesus Christ was hung on. Then his hands were thrust through with swords, but there was no wound. He was then bound on the altar of sacrifice and burnt. So it sounds like Abraham and Isaac now. But his physical parts, his corporal parts, would not be consumed, and he walked forth unharmed. Then a sword was thrust through his body, but it made no wound and gave no pain. Then he was placed in a coffin and buried, but in 3 days he rose up out of the grave and went forth preaching. Sounds like Jesus Christ, right? So the master says, what finally became of him? The initiate said, he still abides on the corporal earth, and at times takes on a corporal body and shows himself, he and his mother, me also. And the master says, what did he preach? The initiate says, to do good to others, harm no man, woman, or child, and to pray only to the great Eolan, to heal the sick by sacred words and by motions of the hand, and is to learn those sacred words and signs that have come to this holy temple. So there's his reason for his wanting to go through the sun degree ceremony. He wants to learn sacred words and signs so that he may learn to minister to his brethren. He wants to do good by what he's going to learn. He said, that's why I've come to this holy temple. Verse 25, the master says, before you can be trusted with such signs and words, you shall be proven on your God and Savior, so that your faith is manifested. Know then that although you're blindfolded and do not see, yet you are surrounded by gods and lords of heaven and earth, and by a mortal priest, most holy and powerful. If you have faith in your own words, and thus know the Son of the Son, you have little to fear. Follow therefore your attendance to the places of sacrifice, so that we may bear testimony that you are holy. Remember also that all men must be tried, earlier in the corporal world or in the next. Without this, there is no resurrection for them. See that? We somehow, whether our life is a test, in our life, it could be that test. Either here or afterwards, I don't know. We don't know. I think that it could be you face this, you brethren, you may be called to go through your testing now. And then when we go to our spiritual, we go to the place that, we have elevated to. I could be wrong, but I perceive that that's what, we have to go through a testing to determine our place. Now, another thing, from what I understand, we cross over, we immediately go back to school when we're ready for individuality in the spiritual. And the Oahspe says that can take 1 year, 2 years. It can take 100 years until we're ready to live in the spiritual. So verse 26, it says, the initiate says, I trust in you, O my Savior Hongshi. Let the attendants lead me forth. So I'm getting ahead. I got to read up here a little bit. It says, if you have faith in your own words, thus know the Son of the Son, you have little to fear. Follow, therefore, your attendants to the places of sacrifice, so that we may bear witness that you are holy. Remember also that all men must be tried either in the corporal world or in the next. Without this, there is no resurrection for them. So we could be going through a trial. That's what our life may be. We're going through a trial. You face this. You ever think about that? In order to place us here or there, we have to go through our specific afflictions. The initiate says, I trust in you, O my Savior Hongshi. Let the attendants lead me forth. And then it says the initiate is then taken and bound down on altar H, naked and fire lit under him. Check that out. And fire lit under him. See H over here? See what my cursor is? It's like, okay, now he's beginning his initiation. And they take him, they lay him down on the altar. There he is, got the H on his chest. See that? got the wood underneath, and then lay him down on a bed of flames. Okay, now it says the initiate is then taken and bound down on the altar H, naked and the fire lit under him, and he thrusts his right arm down into the flames until it is proved he has power over fire and will not burn. It says over here, the footnote, verse or 1431. These were the ceremonies of the third cycle past 9,000 years before Cosmic. It said persons who have witnessed the fire test miracle of modern spiritual mediums can readily comprehend this initiation. So even in our time, but this says this was going on 9,000 years before 1848. People witnessed the fire test miracle of modern spiritual mediums, and they can readily comprehend the situation. So, from what I was saying in the cosmic, I know the spiritual is coming back. It's going to come back. Brethren talking to archangels and talking to spirits of angels come back, and in the cosmic era where we are right now. Could happen tonight. Could happen to you. Could happen to me. So here, okay, the initiate, he's taken down, he's laid on a altar, he's bound down, a fire lit under him, he thrusts his right arm into the flames, so it is proved he has power of fire and will not burn. Verse 27, the master says, by virtue of my power received from Hong Chi, son of the all light, savior of men, I pronounce Egao, he is Gao, which means he is proven. Release him, O you lords of the heavenly host, as the all holy Savior of men penetrates the corporal part, so shall the corporeal part be divided. Okay, the initiate says, in you, O my Savior God, of this corporal world I put my trust. Lead me forth, O you who are of the corporal earth, and prove my soul. And then in parentheses it says he is next led to Soan, and there a sharp blade is thrust through his hand and withdrawn, and if proved, there is no wound or blood. So up here again, part of his initiation, here's the sword. Or wait a minute, the sword L. Is that the sword? I think it is. Showing you part of the initiation process. And it says, but there's no wound and there's no blood. And it proved there is no wound or blood. A sharp blade is thrust through his hand. This is a man that wants to attain the wisdom and knowledge of a sun degree God. Pay attention to that. You see how he gets tested? Now, I know how in the world is a man, how does he make it? Verse 29, the master says, by your light, Hong Chi, descendant and Poetsi, angel messenger of the corporal world, this is my brother Uchine and legion of Zerl, but you still have a greater gift for him. Lead him forth, O you lords of the corporeal world, and thrust the sword through his body. Verse 30, I go forth, O you lords of the corporal world, you do not know what manner the spirit is. Forgive them, O almighty Hong Chi, son of Eolan, creator of the worlds. This is your body, this is your blood. Let them eat and drink of them in remembrance of you. Your hand will deliver and your soul shall never die. So, interesting thing here, because this is exactly what Jesus Christ said when the supper, Last Supper. So, now you're wondering. Now, I can only answer that this was taken out and given to put in the manuscripts that make up the Bible. Somehow it was included, because this is exactly what Jesus Christ says. This is your body, this is your blood. Let them eat and drink of them in remembrance of you. Your hand will deliver, my soul shall never die. A sword is then thrust through the body and withdrawn, and there is no wound or blood. The eye him, he says, in remembrance of him I do these things. Behold, the power of faith, by faith, the all creator created. The master says, by your words you shall be proven. O you lords of the corporal world, bring him sand, water, and a veil. By his command a rose shall bloom in our midst. There's another test. The initiate. He says, O Oahspe, only first begotten of son of Dewey, mother of Eowyn, spouse of the All Light, offspring of the Creator of worlds, give me of your power for the blessing of the corporal world. Sand, water, and a veil are brought before him. He covers the sand and water with the veil and speaks as follows. Verse 1, as Gal sprang from nothing and stood triumphant. Of the corporal world so come forth, O fire of corporal parts, and clothed the spirit rose in my eyes. Behold. Then it says the roses are then revealed, fresh grown amid the sand and water. Then it says, verse 35, the master says, this day I crown you, my brother Edemlu, Maggie, of the Savior empowered on the corporal earth to dwell by holy land and water. The initiate then takes some of the water and sand and sprinkles the attendants. This is my blood, my body, says Oahspe, the all-quitter. Take of them in my name. Verse 37, the Lord's together, behold, the S that rules over corpora, spirit that rules over body. It says, be mighty in will, O children of men. Be wise of will, O children of men. Be all truth and all in will. O children of men, be all good works, O children of men, and all your best thoughts and wise perceiving. O children of men, learn from spirit the world unseen. In verse 38, the Lord conduct him to the middle chamber where he takes the oath. Middle chamber, initiate, now takes the oath. He's passed these different trials. Now time for him to take an oath. Verse 39, the initiate says, to celibacy I am sworn, for he who begets a child is bound in spirit after death to his own offspring. Wow. Parents are tied to their children after they leave this mortality. They were tied to their offspring. The master says, to the ES world, the spirit world, I am all remembrance. To the corporate world, all forgetful now and forever. The initiate says, all vain words I renounce, all idle laughter I renounce, all love of corporal things I renounce with abhorrence. Master says, what of ES, the great unseen? The initiate says, there are two heavens, one rests on the corporal earth and one stands in the firmament. Between the two lies the bridge Shinbat, where Oahspe, Savior of men, stands. By his love the children of men can pass, by his curse they must return to the lower heaven, till purged of all corporate thoughts. Verse 45, by the loud sounding trumpet of Oahspe, chief of the heavenly posts, Son of the All Light knows the secrets of the souls of men. Knows the secrets of the sons of men. Verse 46, the God's angels stationed at the four gates now come forward and salute. Then the lords and angels of the outer host come with the working tools, and together they sing to the great Ejois. So he's passed his test. He's now acknowledged as a God. He's now acknowledged as a God. And then the master says to him, for what purpose is this coffin? The initiate says, so I may be coffined and buried in the corporal earth. And then the master says, let lords of earth bury him in the name of Anramanius, or Uxa, the all-corporeal death. Verse 50. The initiate is then confined and buried, man, and a watch set around the grave, over which a veil is thrown, and in darkness the angels unearth him and set him free. Look at the amount of trust that he's got to have. Letting yourself be put in the coffin and buried. And then a watch is set around the grave, which a veil is thrown, and in the darkness the angels unearthed him and set him free. When that happens, he is beloved and with regalia and implements and with signs and holy words which cannot be given outside the some degree of faithness. With signs and holy words which cannot be given outside the some degree of faithness. Nor can the implements and working tools of the lords and gods of the outer circle be revealed except to those who have been duly prepared by fasting and prayer, and by knowledge of the motions and positions of the corporate world. Joby says, only to the wise, the pure and the just do I reveal the mysteries of my kingdoms. So that will conclude the reading of his word. Let me go back in the room, see if my brother Elijah is still there. I don't know, but if you are, brother, thank you for joining me. So a little look into the mysteries of the spiritual realm and the ascension to godhood and the things that they have to go through. So, serious business, because under Christianity, we've pretty much been taught that we make a claim and then we don't have to work on ourselves, try to elevate in our spirit, try to put on that character, put on that spirit, so that we may be able to, I mean, from what I can see, your character, your spirit is more important than your overstanding. The things that they deal with, the being able to become a lord or an ashar or a god, deals with our character, our ability to read, be faithful. So anyway, brethren, that's the best I can do for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. I want to give thanks to my Heavenly Father, Earthly Mother, for this opportunity. Brethren, thank you. Until I see you again on video, peace be unto you. Shalom.